of course, another tool that Democrats have effectively wielded has been the tool of revenge. We see this in Washington. Every time a Republican administration closes out and a Democrat administration takes over, they've always been very effective at never forgetting, and this is particularly true at the end of Trump's first term, where they made lists of every person that worked for President Trump, that worked in his administration, that worked for companies that cooperated with the administration. And it's a very effective tool. They went after them in terms of lawfare. They went after them in terms of putting some people in jail. It's one of the left's most powerful tools. Former Obama advisor Susan Rice spoke in an interview, and this is what she had to say about the coming revenge that they're planning for the future.
There's a lot of stuff that we need to do in service of the American people. But in addition to that, there will be an accountability agenda. You know, companies already are starting to hear they better preserve their documents. They better be ready for subpoenas. If they've done something wrong, they'll be held accountable. And if they haven't broken the law, good for them. If they've done the right things, good for them. That also will be noted and remembered. But this is not going to be an instance of forgive and forget. Right. The damage that these people are doing is too severe to the American people and to our national interest.
She didn't define what was wrong. They can't say what was wrong. Right, they're going to go after.
Because accountability isn't the actual word. That's a code for retribution. Revenge. They've already showed us what they'll do.
Right. And when you already identify President Trump as an authoritarian or Hitler or whatever, then just doing business with him would make you guilty of something. Laura Trump knows exactly what this authoritarian playbook looks like because her family experienced it firsthand at a level that all of us, if we still go back and think about it, it's still shocking today. Here's what she had to say about what Susan Rice just said.
Seems straight out of the authoritarian playbook, doesn't it? Intimidate and threaten your political opponents. And that's essentially what Susan Rice did right there. She said that any person individually, any corporation, law firm, anyone who dares work with this president and this administration, who, by the way, is bettering our country every single day, better watch out. They need to remember that if they want to win elections, they're going to have to start doing things and talking about things the American people actually care about, like the economy, like the border, like inflation, safety and security. You can't intimidate your way into a win. But that's basically what they're saying here. And it just reminds people at the end of the day why this party every single day has seen an exodus of people, and more people are leaving today now than ever.
If you want to know what the country will look like and what politics will look like if the Republicans lose the midterms, she's giving you a really good preview right there.
Yes, she is. And, she also sort of highlights the issues. There's long been a tradition in this country that pendulums swing from the left to the right on policy stuff. But it is the personal, individual retribution and destruction of people's lives is what Susan Rice is talking about there. And as Laura Trump notes, that has nothing to do with shifting a policy or shifting an issue position. It's got to do with destroying people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.